the name. You might know me from my days. I was tearing up the stage, I was mashing up the place. Who would think a few years later I would change up my behavior to something greater? I get an encounter. God said, listen daughter, I have an assignment here for you. This ain't what I sent you here to do. Michelle, girl, I love ya. Come back to your father. And right in that moment my heart was changed. One set of tears had run down my face, and God for amazing grace. Now I turn a different page.
to sing. And his crown I used to win. Mash up the place all over the world, Switzerland, even England and Spain. Then Jesus called out my name. Was late in the evening, was by the bar drinking, just having a time, taking a smoke. But then I heard the Lord spoke, then he's so sleeping. No life have a meaning. And right in that moment my heart was changed. I could never be the same. Thank God for amazing grace. Now I turn a different page. Nobody can stop my praise. Nobody can stop my praise. People say that I ain't changed. Them go say what they go say. Nobody can stop my praise. Nobody can stop my praise. I tell you I safe on the inside. Nobody going outside. I safe on the inside. I'm leaning on the Lord's side today. I'm not going to turn back again. In Christ I go stay. It had nothing for me outside there.
It had nothing for me outside day. Say it had nothing for me. It had nothing for me. Nothing for me outside day. No way. No demon in hell can conquer me. I am under a new authority. I can't change my past or change my heart. Bring a new wine out of me.
This world have nothing to offer me. In Jesus I find security. I tell you I safe on the inside.
I'm not going back outside. Amazing grace. Now I turn a different page. Nobody can stop my praise. Nobody can stop my praise.
People say that I ain't changed. Them go say what they go say. Nobody can stop my praise. Nobody can stop my praise.
I tell you I safe on the inside. Nobody going outside.
I safe on the inside.
I'm leaning on the Lord's side today.
I'm not going to turn back again. In Christ I go stay. It had nothing for me outside there.
And nothing for me. No.
Nobody can stop my praise.
Denise.
Nobody can stop my praise.
It had nothing for we. No, no, no. Tell them it has nothing for we outside. Yeah.
Nobody going outside. I'm not going nowhere. I'm leaning on the Lord's side today.
To God, I love you, Lord.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'm here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. You know, sometimes we just have to take it like that, eh? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's our final official program for the year. We will have a program next week, but that will just be a greeting program. Not going to be going into any issues or so on. So, in truth and in fact, this is the final program for this year. In the sky. But again, on Monday night, we will be doing a greeting program. You'll get the opportunity to greet your friends and family, both locally and overseas. A special good night to all the listeners joining us via We Noise Radio, our loyal We Noise Radio. They're with us every single night, eh? And not just this year or last year. I'm sure we're coming up on 10 years already, eh? If we haven't passed that already. So, wait, how much years now, man? It's been a lot, eh? Whether it's hard talk or talking points. Day or night, they're there with us. Now, good night to all the listeners joining us via the YouTube. All of you joining us via the Facebook. My good friends and family, we say a special good night to each and every one of you. Remember to hit the like button. Yeah, let's get those likes going over 100. Come on, we're heading for the 5,000 subscribers as well. So if you're a nightly listener and you're not yet subscribed to the YouTube page, make sure that you do subscribe. And to those of you that view us on Facebook, make sure that you follow the page, yeah? You like and follow the page. Let me say good night to the parliamentary team of the New National Party. You know, the senators will be going into the Senate on, yes, that's on Friday. Yeah, they'll be heading into the Senate, I believe. Is it? No, not this Friday. I think it's next Friday.
I want to go to heaven. Come on, church. I want to go to heaven. I said, me tired of staying down there. Standing up the troubles and the trials. I said, me want to go to heaven.
So that will be next week, Friday. The Senate will be sitting this week, so after the Christmas. The day after Boxing Day. And Parliament sat today. Of course, there were discussions in relation to the issue of pensions. A lot of false and fictitious information was presented by the government side. In fact, right now, I took a glance a while ago. I do know that the President General of the Public Workers Union, they were doing a live a while back, so I'll double check on that. Yeah, we go deal with that one in January. We can't give it on tonight. Yes, and I'm seeing here sympathy to our good friend Gloria Francois on the passing of her son. Do accept our sympathies on behalf of the entire Talking Points family. Come on, you all hit that like button, yeah? Yeah, the last program of the season, yeah. You're quite right, J.C. Sherry. Shemi Joseph, good night to you. Good night to Keda. Good night to your entire home circle. Joyce down there in Trinidad, good night to you. lines. 440-7377, 347-329-3101.
Just remember. Bells are ringing. The church is praying. Strongholds are breaking.
That's 440-7377, 347-329-3101. Yes, I'm multitasking more than normal tonight.
Zion children is praying. This battle is not yours.
Yes, we're getting ready for the year 2025. And this is exactly what we'll do.
Take it to the Lord. Take it to the Lord. I'm going to take it to the Lord in prayer. Take it to the Lord.
And we've got a call. We've got a call online. Hello, good night. Oops, yeah, wrong one. Yeah. Caller, hold on. Nice, yeah. You got on good, you. Hello.
Good night.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man.
Nice.
Once again, season greetings to everybody, all the Talking Points family, all the NP ads, all the MPs, everybody, even the Prime Minister, even everybody. You know what I'm saying? Now, Sheldon, I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole Parliament today because I was back and forth, while I move, machine. Yeah. But on a serious note, we still back in the doldrums of what was then, what is now. And I will use a word, misogyny, Sheldon. For who don't know, go look it up. Misogyny. You see, Honorable Pierre, this lady will bring this country to a point, and she has gotten that to a point already because she was part and parcel and she was trained well. Yeah? Not well, but well. Now, all the females that involved in politics for the last, 40 years, and before 40 years, before we get independence, we are here. Our Governor General is a female. Yeah? Our political leader of NMP is a female. We have leaders in all strata, that is females. We have PSs. So folks, here's one. When I hear, Sheldon, what hurt me, let me tell you, I hear a man, a virgin of mine, we are ready to talk, man to man. The man tell me, woman not supposed to lead this and lead this. I say, better no. I say, no. Not on the side of a good man, there's a woman, or behind him. We always there wrong. Your mom is a woman. Your sister is a woman. Come on. So here's what. When change in leadership changes, it doesn't make a difference if it's a male or a female, or a weak person or a strong person. One thing I do know, I listened to the Honorable Prime Minister this morning, and surprisingly, you're on earth. Because I call it earth because I know that place of is earth. Surprisingly, this man was on earth this morning, and he was worried about the member of the Tongue of St. George. Honorable Prime Minister, you worried about the man of Tongue of St. George? Worry about everybody in your cabinet who is not being seen, Mr. Prime Minister. Worry about your minister that is going and taking names and putting up toys and saying that person's supposed to get that and that person's supposed to get that. Sheldon, we are in trying times, and I'm guaranteed, I'm believing in Honorable Emmeline Selina Pierre, and I'm behind this lady since day one. And Sheldon, I have been an NEP supporter since 2000. The first time I voted was 1999. I don't think Deacon voted time yet. I could be wrong. But
he was old enough,
I am behind.
He was old enough to vote, so I don't know if he took
Yes.
the opportunity, but I can assure you, because we're similar in age, that he was old enough to vote in 1990.
All of us is similar age. But what I'm saying, I'm sure even me, even myself, have more political or obviously contributions when they come to.
But you see, the thing is, my friend, I think extensively, if you get a chance, I don't know if you got to listen to Monday night's program. If you go back there, I took the opportunity, and I'll invite anyone to go back and listen to Monday night's program. I took the opportunity to go through and speak about Honorable Emlyn Pear, and then speak about Honorable Deacon Mitchell. And when it comes to education, she has far surpassed his. When it comes to community development, she has far surpassed his. When it comes to political involvement, she has far surpassed his. In each and every category, he cannot surpass her. In leadership, in youth development, in working throughout different ministries and so on, she has far surpassed. In international contacts, she far surpasses Deacon Miss Mitchell. So it's no comparison, because he is not in her league. He's in a not even a bush league, He in a mud league. He not nowhere near to her. She passed the CPL and the IPL, but he's still in a mud league, not even a bush league.
Give me about 2 minutes more. Sheldon, let me tell you something. And you know,
since you
and I know.
Since you asked for 2, you're getting
even the members of the NDC, I will call 2 names, Mr. Redhead and Miss James, has more experience in politics than Mr. Deacon and Miss Thomas Mitchell. That's his right name, the lawyer. You understand? These people don't understand what we know about them. So, Mr. Mitchell, Deacon, Thomas, and Miss Mitchell, that's his right name, fully. When you come for the next term to run, if you want to run, and try to break the NDC course, the one-term course, stand the ground, stay in Tempe, stay in Ghanans. Don't leave Andy, don't leave AJ, and Andy talking about who maths and who educated and who called who for who. Andy, use one acronym for 2. Because remember, Mr. Scott, I said we'll call him out. To never call him Mr. Andy.
Okay, my brother.
Because I want to know.
George, you want to take over the whole program tonight? Bye-bye. Yo,
later.
Bye-bye. Oh, you know how to drop it. Yeah, bye-bye. Done. 440-7377-347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get on the inside. And I did not get the opportunity to listen to the entire House of Representatives sitting today. I was out from home for a period of time, and when I got back home and I was listening, there was some problem with the internet, and you didn't have internet for an extended period of time. I had no internet at home, so I was unable to listen. I tried listening a bit before I left home, but I didn't get the entire thing. And there's one common thread that runs through today's sitting, and that same common thread runs through, if you look back at the other parliamentary sittings, if you look back at many of the other things that this government has been doing, this political party in office have been doing, the absolute arrogance from people who don't know what they're speaking about. There's a level of arrogance that is there. When you listen to this individual, the Prime Minister, and you hear him speaking, you have one MP that told the Public Workers Union to shut up. He told them basically like, you all can't talk, shut up. Now the Public Workers Union is the legal, not just they feel they want to be the representative and they go. They are the legally constituted by law bargaining agent on behalf of public workers in Grenada, the thousands of public workers. The Public Workers Union is their legal representative. And here you have the Minister of Finance telling them to shut up. The Public Workers Union had their issues with the New National Party. When it was social partners, the New National Party ensured that the unions had representative. So the Trade Unions Council decided who they wanted to have, and they had their representative on that body. You always engage. In fact, as bad as it is with the President General of the Grenada Union of Teachers, he always says, give him that, give Jack the jacket, and give Jude the gym boots. He always says that when it comes to consultation, that the Honorable Emmeline Pierre, as Minister of Education, always interacted, always consulted with the Grenada Union of Teachers. Especially because the issues, if you're going to pass a law in relation to education, it will have a direct effect on teachers. No matter what law it is, there will be an effect on teachers. And as such, whatever it was, whatever major decision that the ministry was about to take, they would at least let the union know or consult with the union. And there are numerous instances of the present President General of the Grenada Union of Teachers stating that clearly, that the Honorable Emmeline Pierre always interacted. They may not have agreed with what she put forward. They may not have agreed with what it is the government was going to do at that point in time, and they got the opportunity to say that they don't agree. They got the opportunity to say that we think you should do this way instead of that way. It's up to the government if they listen or they don't listen, but they gave them the opportunity to have a say. Now you realize that this administration just decides that they're doing what they want. So they're not engaging with the unions in order to provide benefits to the workers who are constituents of the unions. Now, had this situation, anybody call me now and tell me, had this situation existed under the New National Party, had they then, imagine, let's just go back to roughly 2.5 years, short by a couple of days, about 6 days or so, but let's go back 2.5 years. And let's say that it was the New National Party in office. And let's say that the New National Party, at the drop of a hat, just brought out a bill that says that they're going to basically be taking money out of workers' pockets and putting it towards a pension plan, whether you believe it good or whether you believe it bad. What do you think the response of the unions would have been to that? What do you think the response of the unions would have been when you see that happening and you hear from in fact, at that time it would have been Mr. Gregory Bowen would have been the Minister of Finance. What do you think would have been the response if at that point in time, Mr. Gregory Bowen had got up in Parliament and told the Public Workers Union to shut up? Because that is what the Minister of Finance did. That is what the Minister of Finance did today. He got up in his own arrogant way and told the Public Workers Union, shut up. Yeah?
Mr. Speaker, I also want to talk about the issue of consultation with the unions regarding this pension plan. Now, with the settled side of that, the government of Grenada did not consult. One of the reasons why we basically are coming to the House at this late stage, maybe a year later, from presenting this bill is because we've had extensive consultation throughout. Now, the Public Service Union, who has not come on board from the inception, because we did invite them to come on board and be part of this process, they have not come on board. And you will hear them talking nonsense out there about, oh, they were not consulted. I wonder how much more invitation and consultation they would need to be part of it. We still leave it open that they can call now if they want and be part of the process. But if they don't come on board and so on, they should shut them out up. They should shut them out up. Don't come on board and so on. They should shut them out up. Don't come on board and so on. They should shut them out up. and be part of the process. But if they don't come on board and so on, they should shut their mouth up and be part of the process. But if they don't come on board and so on, they should shut their mouth up.
Yeah, that's the way to speak to the unions, minister. Yeah, you in charge. Yeah. Remember that the same man that told us the other day that we had to go to church on October 19th and think that's what we should be doing and think. Yeah, daddy. They have to shut up. They can't talk. What? This thing, watch. Papa, yo. 440-7377-347-329-3101. Yeah, that's the Minister of Finance, yeah.
We would say it is, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping
Oh, you have to shut up, yeah.
you now refrain, Yellow, yellow, all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering, yellow, yellow, no hello.
You know what? Yeah, had that been Mr. Gregory Bowen making that statement, I assure you, all ministry closed tomorrow. You know? All ministry would have closed tomorrow. In fact, you have elements within the Public Workers Union, and this is no insider information or things that somebody had to spy or get a wrong envelope in relation to. This is openly being said on social media platforms. The same social media platforms that public workers were recently warned not to be posting anything political in nature on, but once you're posting political and you're attacking the new National Party, or you're attacking the leadership of the union saying that, they're too anti-government. Imagine, they're not marching, they're not protesting, they're not calling out the workers and come out with placards and all sort of things. They're not doing any of that. But yet still you have people within the unions who say they have to get rid of the leadership because they're too anti-government. What they want is some wrong nosers. What they want, whoever they decide they want to put to be in charge, they want to make sure they get a wrong noser. Somebody, when the Prime Minister say A, that person say B, C, D, E, F, G. That's what they want. They don't want anybody that has any form of independent thought. Even if you used to be doing something during the period of the new National Party, if you try something that even look like the shadow of that during this period of the NDC, man, they're turning on you and they want your neck. We have a caller online. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Okay, caller, you can call back. You'll get the opportunity. 440-7377-347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get on the inside. No, I want to hear it again. Okay, we'll get it back there for you. Nice, because he's saying that so he's saying basically that the Public Workers Union, Miss Daisy Hazard and Mr. Brian Grimes and the other they're saying that the Public Workers Union lying. That is what he's claiming. Nice. Let me hear him again, man.
Mr. Speaker, I also want to talk about the issue of consultation with the unions regarding this pension plan. Now, with the settled side of that, the government of Grenada did not consult. One of the reasons why we basically are coming to the House at this late stage, maybe a year later, from presenting this bill is because we've had extensive consultation throughout. Now, the Public Service Union, who has not come on board from the inception, because we did invite them to come on board and be part of this process, they have not come on board. And you will hear them talking nonsense out there about, they were not consulted. I wonder how much more invitation and consultation they would need to be part of it. We still leave it open, that they can call now if they want and be part of the process. But if they don't come on board and so on, they should shut them out up if they want and be part of the process. But if they don't come on board and so on, they should shut them out up and be part of the process. But if they don't come on board and so on, they should shut them out up and be part of the process. But if they don't come on board and so on, they should shut them out up.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all it does. Talk to the public workers. If NNP to try that, boy. Good night. Good night.
How you do?
I'm more than good.
I want to congratulate Miss MMP for her outstanding performance. And I want to give thanks to her and give her long life. May God give her long life, health, and strength. And she will be the next Prime Minister of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And Sheldon, let me tell you something. Grenadians, we hate what we love. We hate what we love. When NNP in office, the unions to take treat No NDC, they take it in the backside. You are demanding them, shut up. No respect, disrespectful. So Grenada are the hate of the law. Have a good night.
All right, my dear. Thank you so very much. Yes, indeed. And let's go to the phone lines once again. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Caller.
Hello,
Hey, you're live, caller. Go right ahead.
Senator Scott, how you doing?
Hey, I'm more than good, man. How you doing?
I there listening to you, man. I'm listening to all the topics, boy. But you know, I'm just listening.
Yes, yes.
I listened to the Parliamentary and Senator Scott, whatever the union get, they deserve it. Because once you have a cooperative lawyer, they know what it means by a cooperative lawyer, what he represents. So they shouldn't expect that. But there is the one who fought for Dick Mitchell to get in office. And you had said it well over 2 years now, that he's going to stifle the union. He's going to bypass the union. Because cooperative lawyer is not a fund of union. It's not a fund of government. They do what they want. Tell me any part of the world where a cooperative lawyer running a country. Just start, do the research, and then you could tell the Grenadian people any part of the world where a cooperative lawyer is running a country. I bet Grenada is the first, and it might be the last. That's why he's stifling the unions. He's going behind the unions' back and just do what he wants. You understand? He's trying to win the people to distance themselves from the union. And all the comrades within the union, all those comrades don't know that. There's something wrong with them if they didn't understand it. Because that's what he's doing, and that he's going to continue doing that. You understand? So they have to wake up. They look for that. Every living thing they bring on the floor, NNP went through it already. And then our NNP was saying, come, let me sit down and talk. Come, let me sit down and talk. If you listen to Sister Evelyn today. You understand? Well, I know that from ever since. Come and sit down, let me talk. No, the union found an excuse. Excuse, because they want to get rid of the government. Excuse. Man, how you make your bed is so you shall lie. Have a good one, sheldon.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother. And compliments of the season to you as well. All right. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Had that statement been made by a member of the new National Party, all hell and brimstone would have been brought down on the new National Party. You would have had a day of reflection, and workers would have suddenly not turn up to work on a particular day, or decide that at half day that they've got something to do and they need to leave. You would have heard all sorts of things taking place. But you see, the elements within the union right now are totally pro-government, to the point of they find that the union leadership is not pro-government enough. I never know trade unions to be in love with any government. We didn't expect the trade union movement to be in love with the government of Grenada during the period of time of the NDC. One thing Dr. Mitchell is a realist. He has to take care of the interests, when he was Prime Minister, of all Grenadians, not just the members of the union. So he cannot just every time just get up and give the union everything that they want, because he has to take care of all of us, including the same people in the union. So you don't expect them to have had a love affair. We'll come back to that one. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night to you, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
Hi, good night, bro. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm blessed. Thank you. I just want to say a special good night to Honorable Dr. Mitchell, and I'm thanking very much for his 40 years of service. And congratulations to Emily Pierre. Miss Pierre, we love you, and we stand with you 100%. Don't mind all the negative that people say, no, about you. Stand strong, and just remember, Grenadians got your back. We with you 100%. Have a blessed night, Sheldon.
All right. Thank you so very much. And compliments of the season. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. 440-7377. 347-329-3101. Yes, you can call. And we say a special good night to Madam Talking Points herself, Miss Camille Teresa Scott. Good night to you. I know you're home and you're relaxing. You're taking it easy and thing. Yes, I know you're relaxing. So you have a wonderful night tonight, my dear. All right. 440-7377. 347-329-3101. So, the trade unions, as it is right now, you have some very vociferous, some very vocal people who are members of that trade union. So anytime their trade union leader says anything that even seems to be as though it is attacking the government, he could praise the government for 15 minutes and cuss them for 5, he's still wrong. So they are asking now for him to go. Because they find now they need somebody there who anytime Deacon Mitchell open his mouth and say A, the person must say ah. That's what they find. We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Yeah, bros, good night.
Good night, sir. How are you?
Hi there, man.
Go right ahead.
Greetings to everyone.
All right.
And what I'm saying, he was an MP that did say them thing. I don't know the demonstrating. I didn't night the demonstrating.
Mm-hmm.
But donkey face can wall, he face like a damn ass face.
Yeah. Let me don't go down that road there. I'm tired of warning you about them thing. Not on my show. Don't go down them road. Hello? You gone without me cutting them off. Don't go down them road on the show. No. Don't do that. Not yet. Right? Nice. 440-7377-347-329-3101. Because me and Pretty either. 440-7377-347-329-3101. Those are the numbers to get onto this program. Yeah? Yes, indeed. So you have the people who are in the leadership of that organization under fire because people find they're too pro-government. But if this had happened under NNP, Papa, we have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hey, Shirley.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on?
I'm good.
Yeah, but this man real disrespectful, you know. That man disrespectful. Shut them out. That man good. He real disrespectful. But don't worry, man. I want to see how long he go run that mouth for. That mouth he had, he go sorry, you know.
Remember.
He go say, I beg your pardon just now.
Remember. My brother, hold on, That is one MP that don't care, because they had a pension coming anyway and they had a business on the side. They need this, NDC need them. Them don't need NDC. So they're showing the true colors. That's why they would speak like that. They're showing who they really are. Yeah? Hello?
Yeah,
go ahead, man. You go ahead.
Man. You need to go. You have to have respect.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, man. You have to have some respect, man. Yeah, man. I want to say congratulations to Sister Emlyn Pierre, man. We standing by you all the way.
Yes.
I would just want to say, Dr. Mitchell, oh my God, you're one of a million, man. We supporting your street. Thank you for that 40 years human service that you give to Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
And stay strong, brother. Sheldon, you all the best for the season, man, and take care.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
All right, my brother. Yeah, so I know. But people are St. Patrick, that is all your MP, yeah? St. Patrick East, that's your all MP, right? Nice, yeah. 440-7377. Yeah, isn't that the same constituency that you had that issue? There, because I know part of Hermitage in the east and part in the west, so I'm not too sure. Yeah. But I know it's in Hermitage Day that they had that thing where children go for toys and they tell them your name not on the list. Yeah, so it's maybe somewhere update them kind of thing does happen. No? Watch. 44, not my JJ, nah, JJ, watch. I'll get a look at toy car or something in town for him. Yeah, you go be okay. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. Those, my good friends, are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Folks, we still want to do the hamper initiative. Only about 3 people donated. We do not have enough yet to do the hampers. So if you can, please donate. Other than that, we're going to have to use those funds and try and help some people, because right now, we had to help someone just earlier this week. And thanks to the Talking Points family, they were able to do that, because was a young mother and she has the 3 children there, and the water was cut off. So she had to pay for the water. She's unemployed, had to pay for the water, had to pay the $240 and pay the reconnection. So Talking Points family, people were able to come together and ensure that that was done. All right. So it may have other situations like that we may have to help somebody. They may have to try and get back the water for the Christmas. But outside of that, if we can do the hampers, please let us know. Those of you that want to donate, you can do so through the app that we have, the GoToFed app. It is safe. It is secure. You could transfer funds through there, and your information, your credit card information, is safe. It's encrypted, so it's safe. Nobody is able to watch it and say this or that. It's encrypted. Yeah, that system is done in conjunction directly with the bank. Yeah, so it is a safe way to transfer funds. 440-7377, 440-7377, and 347-329-3101.
Generation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe.
Hey, Tora St. John, where come on, you lit?
Rightful thinking, so we voted for the bling. But you trick us with Kel.
No, I was listening. The parts of the parliament that I did hear today, a lot of untruths were put forward. Because you see, I understand perfectly, in the political sense, what the NDC is doing at this point in time. Yeah, as a student of politics, I ain't no teacher. I ain't no grandmaster or no professor. My name is not Dr. Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell is the grandmaster. Yeah? But as a student of politics, I understand what the NDC is doing. One, they are trying to shade the New National Party as the old party, the party of old people. Remember, the New National Party has always had youth involvement at the most senior of levels. In fact, our present leader of the New National Party came in. I believe she was under the age of 30 still at the point in time that she came in to the New National Party. Under the age of 30. Young lady came into the New National Party. And historically, we've had Senator Dwight Hossford. Yeah, was in the Senate as a young person. You've had Senator Devon Roche. You've had myself. You've had several people. Senator Judd Cadet. Yeah, Senator Neelan Franklin. You've had all of these young people were given an opportunity under the New National Party. That has been traditional. The New National Party, on coming into office, was able to unfurl within 6 months several new and improved youth programs in 2013. 2.5 years later, this government still struggling to try and launch something here and launch something here. So they're taking NNP programs, rebrand them, name them differently, and then come back with some watered down versions and saying, you ain't see we come with a new program. For what new program? How is Empower Her new? It's Imani, just Imani for women alone between the ages of 18 to 35. Just say that. The only difference is that you're only taking women and it's for 1 year. That's the only difference, but it is Imani. And anybody that has common sense, anybody that has sense, let me forget common sense, anybody that has sense would be able to know that what you have brought is a watered down version of the Imani program. Don't try and pass that off on us like if we're stupid. But the intention of the NDC at this point in time is to try and label the New National Party as the old people party. Don't forget the fact that you have 2 young people at the helm of the party right now, in Senator the Honorable Norland Cox as the deputy and Honorable Emlyn Pierre as the political leader. As far as they're concerned, forget that. Yeah? 2 people who, even if you join together, their experience, their academic level, their involvement in community, if you add together the number of years of experience that both of them have, at the young age that they are, they still have more experience than the whole NDC cabinet. You check it out. They have more combined. They have more political experience than the entire NDC cabinet or the entire NDC side of the House of Representatives. They have more cabinet and ministerial experience than the whole NDC cabinet put together. If you want to check it in number of years, and community involvement, same thing. Even if you add all of them together, they do not have the level of community involvement of the Honorable Emlyn Pierre and the Honorable Senator, the Honorable Norland Cox. When we're just talking that level, we ain't talking about the rest of the New National Party team. We're just talking about the leader and the political leader. But their intent, listen to them when they call the programs. I'm not one of them that's saying don't listen to people. Listen to everybody. Because you have to know how wicked some people are. You have to know how some people feel that you don't have sense. So that they slick, they could pass something and say, look, there's a bunch of old people. Or the party is the old party and we are the party of young people. Young people like we party. So they are saying things that they know, they very well know, are not true. Or they don't know is not true, and they don't have enough common sense, decency, and respect to ask a question to find out if it is true or not. That is why, and I want you all to take the opportunity, go to the Parliament session and listen to what Dr. Mitchell was saying, because there's a lot that Dr. Mitchell said today that corrected some inaccuracies. In fact, let me don't say inaccuracies, some downright lies by the sitting Prime Minister, Mr. Deacon and Miss Mitchell. I listened to that man presentation and I wonder who he think he fooling. So when he started speaking, for instance, and he was speaking about the when they removed the pension, the act to do that. Yeah? The first instance when he said it, if you were just listening and you just heard that part, you would leave there with the impression that it was the New National Party that come and put in place the Pension Disqualification Act, The same revolutionary government that he praising, the same one that he put Heroes Day on the day that the leadership of that died, the same Maurice Bishop that is going the past here and light candle and call and say, come back. The same Maurice Bishop that he's trying to take picture because he's trying to make himself look like a Maurice Bishop. Because on a psychological level, he's trying to capture all those people who supported the revolution, who go and look at him and in him see Maurice Bishop. But Maurice Bishop had a history of serving the people of Grenada, not serving against the people of Grenada when he was in his law practice. He may have made his errors and his mistakes during his period of time in government. He did some things he ought not to have done. That is a truth and that is a fact. He did some things he should not have done. His signature was sending people to jail who should not have gone to jail simply because they didn't agree with him. But previous to that, he was the lawyer that was defending people. He was involved actively in the community and so on. So he had a history of doing things for the people, not against the people. So when people look at the present Prime Minister and they try to equate him to Maurice Bishop, all you better go and get the documentary and read and listen and view about who Maurice Bishop was. Taking some pictures and playing like you're putting on clothes to look like a modern Maurice. Or trying to talk in a way like him. Or trying to give yourself the modern equivalent of what his haircut would look like. Or some of your members playing, they want to grow beard because they want to look like, what do they call him again? Those followers of Che Guevara and so on. Not because they want to do that means that they are the same people. Because this bunch is incompetent. Incompetent, the present administration. Grenada has never seen a more incompetent government than this one. These guys, I mean, listen, I think if you're looking at, well, they don't have encyclopedia again. But if you go on the online encyclopedia, I think if you Google incompetence, right now you're seeing a picture of the NDC. Seriously. I feel if you Google, right now, you're getting a picture of the NDC. We have a caller online.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Good night. Go right ahead.
How are you, man?
I'm fine.
Hey, Brother Sheldon. One day I could see with NMP. NMP has a team. A team is young people, middle age, and one or two elders. Right? A team that is experienced, try, prove, and they go through the bad weather and difficult and the good and bad times, and they come out successful. When you have a leader in a community that serve with distinction, and when he serve with distinction, he also has the minister behind him, serving with distinction, and it was making Grenada proud. Grenada was shining right through the Caribbean. I remember Dr. Mitchell while he was in Minister of Communication work, what he did, right, with the water and with the water and light. He really electrified the rural area. He bring pipe and water throughout the rural area, right? And Dr. Mitchell get his fame from there because he did a wonderful job as communication and works. Become Prime Minister again, he saw with distinction what he did to improve the life of the people of Carriacou. Right? And what you find, Brother Sheldon, you have these government right now, some retirees that they can't tell the younger ones nothing. The younger ones there, we could call them the youth for change. We're just telling the whole NDC, go on wheelchairs. And now the same of the old NDC that are telling go on wheelchairs, they in the government. How old Carnival? You have we call him Andal, Joseph Andal. I do believe what I'm receiving pension. Right? So they all, right? NMP are young people, they are young people. But the young people that NMP has in Brother Sheldon is young people with experience. They serve it and they know how to serve, they know how to lead. But you have some young people there in the NDC. The young, we call them the young and reckless. They had no love and no respect. And the older ones within this administration, they no example to the young ones that they have there. Because everybody do their own thing. When you have a prime minister, he don't care. They could be cussing, they could fighting. And what the prime minister do, he's prime minister, that's what he care about. Flying all over the place. Why the Grenada suffering? Look at what happened now. Christmas right around the corner. Some people suffering. They don't know how they spend the Christmas. But under NMP administration, Brother Sheldon, by now so, you see a lot of people in town shopping, buying the cotton, buying carpet. But look at it right now. People asking, people only know it's Christmas, when they talk about Christmas. When it's Christmas. Well, Brother Sheldon, Grenada is a sad state. Sad state. And Brother Sheldon, I want to congratulate all the executive members that is elected back on the executive. I want to congratulate everyone because I know they will do a good job and a wonderful job. Because I have a chairman there that will lead them and hold their hand when they are falling. But then what happened with the old one in NDC, Brother Sheldon? They can't do that. They can't help themselves. They're helpless. The young one helpless. So no one could teach anyone. They do what they want. Brother Sheldon, have a blessed night.
All right. Thank you. All right, 4407377. I'm expecting a call in a short, but I'll take your calls in the interim while I await that particular call. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, let me take this call and then I'll take your other calls afterwards. So let me just go to the phone line here. Hello, good night. Hello.
Good night. Good night.
Good night to you, the Honorable Emlyn Pear. How are you doing tonight?
I am very good. A bit tired. My senior citizens had me dancing, so I'm a little tired. Miss Corian and them had me busy.
I hope
I'm just coming from my senior citizens Christmas party.
I hope they didn't go down, because I know last time I went to a senior citizens party in St. Andrew Southeast. It had one individual that went down, and two of us had to go to help them to come back up. So,
they were very well behaved. Oh, yes, my goodness.
So it has been a long day for you today. I know that you actually haven't even got home yet.
No,
you're on the road. No.
I have been.
We had a very important parliament sitting today. Very, very important because there are implications for public workers across the board in the bill that was passed today at the Parliament. Give us a little insight into what the bill was and some of the concerns that you raised most eloquently today in relation to that bill.
Okay. So, Sheldon, we have absolutely no problem with the subject of pension reform. We have no problem with pension reform. And a lot of other things that we've discussed before in Parliament. Sometimes the way that the thing is done, the methods used, the approach taken, and sometimes we offer advice, and the minute time you open your mouth, you sort of feel like if your advice, your suggestions, your views are not valued, so you literally, as a matter of fact, not one member actually said today, people must shut up, hush them out, You're not supposed to express your views anymore. You're not supposed to have those constitutional rights anymore in Grenada. But we went in today unable to support a bill that was brought to the House by this government. And we have genuine reasons why we were concerned. Number one, the government came with a bill with no financial analysis attached to what was presented, right? They presented a bill without being able to say to us, this is the financial implication of this bill in year 1, year 2, year 3. So you're discussing this thing in a vacuum. You have no idea how it's going to affect us economically, financially. You have absolutely no idea because there's not one figure was presented today in relation to what this is going to cost us, how it's going to affect us financially. And so it is not just that we felt that the government should do that. It is actually mandatory by law. The PFMA, which is the Public Finance Management Act number 17 of 2015, speaks specifically to that when you bring such a bill to the Parliament, it is supposed to be accompanied by a fiscal impact analysis, right? So it's supposed to show you what effect does this legislation have on revenue and expenditure for the fiscal year and years to come, right? So maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. So there was absolutely no reference to this. And so we say, okay, maybe we're not ready for this conversation. Could we take this for first reading only? Give people time to do the proper work on this and come back. The government decided that they're going all the way through and they're going to pass this bill regardless. The second reason, so in the first place, we should not have even had a conversation on this bill because it was not in line with the PFMA. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there was no serious, genuine consultation on this bill. One member made the point that they consulted, but a few minutes later went on to say that the union did not participate. So if you consulted and people did not participate in the consultation, then you really have not consulted with people because it's two-way. People must give feedback. So you said you consulted with the union, and in the same breath, you said the union did not participate in the consultation. Now, based on what I have gathered from the union, I think it is very dishonest of those who claim that the union has refused to participate in the consultation. It is my understanding from very responsible sources that the government made a request for the overall representative of the unions to send a representative to discuss this matter. And so, in essence, what you're saying is that you don't want the Public Workers Union there, for example, as a body. Now, when we consulted with the union, if it's something to do with teachers, you invite the teachers union. If it's something to do with public workers, you invite the Public Workers Union. You don't go to the TUC to ask the TUC to send a representative. And I believe what the government attempted to do there was to stifle the voice of the union on this particular subject. That is my interpretation of the reason why the TUC was asked to send. So as a result of that, the unions must have felt disrespected. And so that is the reason why the government is advancing that they refuse to participate. I think what they did was not to refuse, they were asking for a voice. They were asking for a proper seat at the table, right? And I think the government owes it to them to provide that opportunity to be represented adequately at the table on such an important matter, right? The other thing that is critical as it relates to this bill is that we are saying where we are now is a backward move to where we were in June 2022. In other words, if we go back to June 2022, we were in a better situation. And we are saying there are some considerations that government must give to this particular situation, further considerations. So if you take, for example, 2022 of June 2022, the government wrote to the union to say that we will pay the pension as the court would have ruled. So we're not going to appeal this ruling. We are going to pay. Let us sit down and discuss how we're going to pay, the formula that we're going to use to pay, right? As you recall, the union at the time did not want to discuss the formula because I don't think they understood this popular word that has now come up so many times today, sustainability. So it's not just about paying pension, it is about being able to sustain the payment of pension because it's not a one-off event. And so we said to the union back then that with this court ruling, we accept we are going to pay, but we need to get professional advice. We need to engage the World Bank. We need to engage ECCB. We need to engage other organizations. We've appointed a professional committee to support us and to work with you to come up with the best formula that at the end of the day, you're happy, we're happy, and Grenada is better off. That is what the government was proposing at the time. Now, the same government, when they were in opposition, they encouraged members of the union not to support this approach that I spoke about. And that indeed was a very strategic approach to ensure that we ended up with the results that we don't have today, right? Mm-hmm. And so what the government was doing at the time, and this is before the election, and if you followed, you might have noticed at some point there was a lot of bickering on the other side while I was speaking about this, because they were saying that I was referring to something we planned to do. So I want to make it absolutely clear. What I'm referring to here now is not a plan we had. It is what we were actually doing before the elections. Now remember, before the court ruled in 2022, there was an MOU between the government of Grenada and the unions, right? And this MOU, as a result of that, persons who retire were now entitled to 70% of their last salary upon retirement. Persons who are part of that program were not just going to be public service appointees. It included contract workers. Some of these contract workers are not considered under this new arrangement. And these are some of the things we are saying. Let us go back to the drawing board. Let us consult. Let us find out what are the real issues that people have. Because now you are speaking about categories of public officers. We never spoke of categories of public officers. It was just public officers when we made those when we had that MOU with the union at the time. Mm-hmm. But another critical thing is that we said, and we agreed with the union, that there was going to be no additional payment to NIS. So there was nothing about an additional 3%. There was absolutely no additional cost that persons were going to incur as a result. Now, I was attacked, and I consider it an attack this morning, when a member on the other side said that I was not honest, right? Because there was conversation in the cabinet about appealing the matter. And I want to make this abundantly clear because let me not add the because. Let me just say this. I want to make this clear. The cabinet of Grenada comprises a number of people who sit and discuss matters as it relates to the country. Everyone is entitled to a personal view and an opinion on any subject that is discussed. At the end of the day, a decision is made and there is collective responsibility. So I was speaking about the decision of the government. It is not my responsibility to tell the public what every member, this is very irresponsible if I were to do that. It is very petty and childish for me to come in the public and say what every member of cabinet said about a particular subject.
Mm-hmm.
I can say to you what was the cabinet's decision on the subject matter, which is a professional, responsible thing to do, which is what I said this morning. I said that the government took a decision not to appeal the matter, which is a fact. So to judge me and say that I'm dishonest and I'm a Christian and I'm not saying that some people did not agree and some people wanted to appeal, I would be irresponsible to speak about what some people and some individuals said in a cabinet meeting. I can report to you what the cabinet concluded, which is that we were not going to appeal the matter, right?
Collective responsibility, basically, because with cabinet, you have what is called collective responsibility. So even though you may not agree with a particular decision that is taken, you still take collective responsibility in relation to that
not
decision?
Just that, in addition to that, you're in a club, whether it's Girl Guides, Scouts, whatever organization you're in, a discussion is where everybody share their views, their individual personal views. And at the end of the day, we decide you want to sell ice cream, I want to sell cake, somebody else wants to sell fudge. And after we discuss, we agree that ice cream is the better thing to sell. I can't go in the public and say Sheldon wanted to sell fudge, Tom wanted to sell ice cream. I can say we agreed that we were selling ice cream, right? So I just want to make this abundantly clear. I mean, the attack is okay for me, but I just want to make clear what I said today and why I said what I said, right? The second thing I want to make reference to as it relates to that matter is that after the court ruled, so remember I said there was an MOU, and in that MOU, government and the union said, okay, while this matter is in court, let us agree on something. We're going to give every worker 70% as of their last salary as their pension to go home. We're waiting on the court. We have not had a decision from the court. Let's agree on something still because we are committed to the payment of pension. We are committed to reinstating pension. And we demonstrated that. So you hear persons talk today about actions and not words. If any government would have demonstrated their commitment to the reintroduction of pension to public officers in Grenada, you can only speak about the New National Party. Because remember, you had the Pension Disqualification Act where people were not receiving a pension. And it was the NNP that reinstated the payment of pension to public officers. So let us be real, let us be honest about this matter. Give Jack his jacket and be able to give credit where credit is due. So we're at the point now where the court rules. And the court rules that, okay, we are going back to the previous act, right? We are going back to that point where before the revolution would have abolished this, we are going back to this, and you're entitled to pay these persons according to that particular act. Okay? What did the NMP say? As I said, we're not appealing that. But we're saying, and we said then, let us sit down, let us talk, let us decide how we're going to do that. The government changed. The government changed. The government changed. Coming into government was a group of people in opposition who said we would not have two public service, must be one public service. So whether contract workers, PSC appointed workers, everybody must be treated equally. And we are saying, check this bill. It is not coinciding with what was said during the campaign. It was also said during the campaign that we are going to make everybody permanent with the stroke of a pen. Contract work is illegal. And we are saying this bill does not promote what is being said, because the public workers are saying, why are you going back now to talk about contract work when it's illegal? So you want to break the law? You want to continue to break the law? And so these public officers are saying, why can't you regularize us first before you make that move? Why can you apply pay and grade as you did for the police officers to other public officers? Because when you move with this bill, many people would be seriously affected. The issue of equity came up. So you have two different groups of people, right? Some would be paying an additional 3%, some will not be paying an additional 3%. But if your salary increased 4%, they would all be getting that same 4%, but one group of persons would have an additional commitment to the NIS. So we have serious concerns. But in addition to that, the government is now saying, hey, let us move out of the regular structure for the management of this program. So no more NIS, no more government service. We want to set up this separate entity which is going to manage this fund, which is going to invest this fund in other things so that they can probably make more money. And we are saying, why not strengthen the existing to be able to give us the same results? Why do you need to now go start something new, which is risky, but at the same time, and the cost analysis, nothing was presented to say it's going to cost us $10 to operate this new organization, this new structure that you are going to create. So there are a lot of questions that we have that could not have been answered today, because I don't even think the government had the answers to those questions, right? So we see this as heading to another legal battle. It's opening the door for another legal battle between the union and the government, whereas we should be continuing the work that was started before and bringing total resolution to this matter. We see this as another pension disqualification act, because some people are going to be seriously affected as a result of this bill that was passed today. Now, when you look at the economic situation, Sheldon, now remember, some people just had an increase in payment to the NIS. It is going to increase further, right? NIS contribution is going to further increase. Mm-hmm. And now you come in with an additional 3% in some cases. But look at what is happening with the cost of living, for example. Are you considering those factors when you discuss this bill? Absolutely no reference, no mention was made of that. And so if you look at the consumer price index that came out maybe 2 days ago, you would notice a monthly trend, consistent increase in food prices, increase in healthcare, cost of medication, for example. Even rice is demonstrating an increase, right? And you might ask yourself, things like rice and sugar and powdered milk, for example, where government, through the Marketing and National Importing Board, was covering buffering some of the cost of these items. Now those things, I understand, are outsourced to private companies, and now you are seeing reflected an increase in these items for the first time in many years. Sheldon, I am extremely concerned that these matters were not even considered as the government brought this bill before us, considering VAT added on sugar, considering the levy that was placed on water, all these other things, the increased cost of living, you're saying that you're going to add another 3%, in some cases more than 3%, taken from public officers to put in a fund. And people were saying it's like you hold somebody in your throat and say you have to save 3%. To me, that is the way it came across. Why we have to teach people to save, and people must save, and it is for their good. You don't introduce something in that way. You put people sit down, you explain it to them, you convince them why it's the best thing to do, you show them why it's in their interest. You don't take a hostile approach. People must shut up. They talk too much, and the things they're saying, that approach would only make selling this idea more difficult. And so, Sheldon, we could not in any way seriously consider supporting the government on this bill today. And we are still, the bill is passed, they have the majority, nothing much you could have done. But we wish that the government would have taken some time off to sit with the union, sit with public officers, and go through this bill and agree on a formula, agree on a way forward that would be a win-win situation. Government, workers, and at the end of the day, Grenada has a fiscally sustainable approach to the issue of pension reform.
Honorable Pair, I think one or two things that were left out of the discussion on the NDC side, the other side, during this morning's and afternoon's discussion, was that one, it was the New National Party that put in place special pensions, so that folks that did not qualify, that they could apply, and there was a process that folks who either they had disjointed service and different things like that. So you serve the amount of time, but you're left for a few years, so it's not in one go. Or you just fall short by a few months or something, that they could have applied and still received a pension. Through the cabinet, they mentioned nothing about that because they gave the impression that NNP just never was interested in pension. They refused to mention the millions spent.
They take a lot of unnecessary credit, quote unquote, payment of pension. As a matter of fact, a lot of what was paid was the backlog of those years before there was a ruling by the courts, right? And so if you look at what happened in 2022, if you look at the budget, some 2,200 workers, 200 retirees, 2,200 retirees were catered for in that budget. 2,200, right? About a year after, the government claimed that it added about 525 workers to that amount, right? So if you look at what NNP was paying, I believe budget was $175,000, right? Now, at the end of the day, you want to be mindful and you want to remember, and this is where people are getting it wrong. Even ministers of government are saying that NDC introduced pension.
Absolute
NDC
nonsense.
did not introduce pension. And people are going around repeating this thing. I don't know if it's intentionally to fool people. The pension payroll had 2,200 people when we left government, right? And so NNP has a track record of paying pension. As we said, there was a matter in court. The court ruled. The NNP was in process of settling the matter as it relates to payment of those persons who were affected by that ruling. There was no issue. The final agreement was not reached when the election came as it relates to the formula of how we were going to pay those persons affected. But mind you, as I said before, there was already an MOU in place that was not affecting persons from getting a pension. At the end of the day, those persons were not affected. They were receiving. And so what we were going to act upon now was the court ruling. And guess what? The MOU and what was agreed upon was people were better off under that formula than what the courts would have ruled. People were better off under that formula. 70% of your last salary, people were better off under
70%. Wow. And there's this common, and I saw one of the journalists mention that, I think it was Linda Straker mentioned that earlier today. There's this common mistake that the other side keeps making, claiming that there was no pension. There is NIS pension. Folks do qualify for a pension under NIS. Yes, it is small. Yes, it is contributory. But you can't say that folks had no pension. And I heard the Prime Minister making that false, fake, and untrue statement today that folks had no pension. That is not true. They had a pension under the NIS. You could say it was small. You could say that people had to contribute towards it and different things about it. But you can't say that they had no pension. It's not true.
And what some persons are not even aware of, if you go all the way back, 1958. So this pension conversation is not yesterday. It's not even NNP, right? 1958. That's where it started, all the way back then. In 1958, when the law was first passed, making public officers in a pensionable position entitled to a pension on retirement. And we know what happened when the People's Revolutionary Government came and you have pension disqualification. We know the story of that and how persons were affected, Hamlin Armstrong and others. And we know it was the NNP administration that came in and settled this and paid these people, right? Even if the ruling came, I believe it was 2011 under the NDC administration, they made no attempt to honor the ruling of the court to pay these people. NNP came, 58 of them, and NNP paid off these persons who were affected by a decision made since in the revolution, since during the revolution time, right? And so the restoration of pension was under the NNP administration in 2018. And so you took care of Hamlin Armstrong and all of those 56 persons. NNP paid $7 million to settle that particular matter there out of that ruling, the Hamlin Armstrong case, as we normally refer to it, right? And so when you look at what is happening, NNP has consistently, all previous governments, including ours before 2018, would have been kicking this pension ball down the road. And we decided back then, right, to not just settle the Hamlin Armstrong matter, but to consider those persons after Hamlin Armstrong and to begin that process by coming up with this MOU. Let us continue along that part of pension restoration, and the NNP was well on its way dealing with the issue of pension and to begin the conversation of pension reform. And then came the new administration.
Of course. Honorable Emlyn Pierre, I know you've had a long day. I don't want to take up your entire evening this evening, but we'll give you an opportunity just to say a good weekend, because we'll have the greeting program on Monday night where we fully expect that you will call. We know you will call. But we're going to give you the opportunity at this point in time just to give your final words before you head off.
I would just close by saying this. It is false. It is inaccurate. It is a myth. I don't know what else to describe it as, that NNP was not paying pension, right? Pension payment did not start in 2022. When we left in 2022, and this is the point I really want persons to understand, when we left office in 2022, we were paying 2,200 retirees. The annual budget to do that, it was costing $75.4 million. $75.4 million to pay 2,200 persons, right? And so our commitment to the payment of pension and to pension reform is not words, it is action. So today, the government referred to what we did as it relates to pension as words. Well, if it was words, then Hamlin Armstrong and all of these persons, some 56 or 58 of them, right? All of these 56 persons costing $7 million, that would not have happened. That's not words, that was action. If we were just talking, then we would not have had a MOU signed with the union where people were already receiving 70% of their last salary as their pension. Then we would not have had a case where persons did not have to pay anything additional to the NIS as part of that arrangement. So it was not about words. It was indeed about action. The action not to appeal the case, but to make good on the decision or the ruling of the court, and to engage the ECCB, to engage the World Bank, the IMF, to appoint a committee chaired by Dr. Spencer Thomas. All of these things, they were not words, they were actual actions as it relates to dealing with pension and pension reform. And we hope and we wish the government would have just picked up from where we stopped and continue the process rather than trying to change so much and end up with a situation where the union is not at the table, where the union is complaining about the implication of this bill for workers, where workers are now again divided into categories, contrary to what was promised, that we'll have one public service, where government is no longer talking about contract work being illegal, but this bill is speaking to about contract workers, and so I'm treating them differently to that of other workers within the system. And we are saying to this administration, sit down with the union, sit down with workers, understand the state of the economy, the cost of living, and I don't know how it's going to be done because the bill was passed today, but maybe there's a way that it could be amended in a very short time to address all of these issues that we have raised.
Indeed. Honorable Pair, we'd like to thank you so very much for taking time out of what has been a very busy day. We know you had to leave home from early this morning. And it's easy to sit down in Parliament and listen to that kind of nonsense too. It's tiring on the soul, it's tiring on the body, everything. And yet still, I know Miss Korean and them, they will make you tired. So, we're going to thank you so much for, even though you're that tired, taking the opportunity to come on here and speaking a bit with us.
Just before I run off, Sheldon, I just want to state one last thing. When I started, I mentioned about the 3% that workers would have to pay to the NIS. Well, what we pay now is going to the NIS. But let's be reminded that what went, as a matter of fact, there was so little conversation around that. But what government is proposing now is not to use the NIS anymore, but to create a new body that is going to manage these funds. And that too is a major concern of anything new comes with an additional risk. And there are so many things, so many issues, so many concerns. We want to ask the government, please, meet with the government and re-look this thing. It is okay to come back in short time and amend the bill. I mean, the act, sorry. It's okay to come back in short time and amend. It's not cast in stone, but let us meet with the union. Let us discuss the issues and see what is best in the interest of workers and in the interest of Grenada.
Thank you so very much. Do enjoy the rest of your night, Honorable Emlyn Pay, our political leader. Thank you so very much.
Right. Have a good night. Good night to all of your listeners. Good night. Right.
Folks, we were speaking there with the Honorable Emlyn Pay, political leader of the New National Party, Member of Parliament for St. Andrew South East on today's Parliament sitting. And we were getting some insight in relation to what was taking place in the Parliament today and how it's proceeding and so on. So, yeah, and you heard quite a bit there about the issue of pension, where it came from, what the New National Party did, because they give the impression that the New National Party never did anything in relation to pensions. That's the impression that they give. We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Sheldon, good night.
Good night, sir. How are you doing?
I am, I can't say I'm good.
Oh, boy.
I can't say I'm good.
Oh, boy.
Grenada has not heard my voice. Grenada has not read from me for many years. I just felt that I needed to make a few comments, if you let me.
Yes, go right ahead.
Sheldon, I was listening to the minister. I sat in cabinet with her. And the cabinet at that point in time agreed to discuss with the unions the matter of pension. We had a few years of discussion with the unions. The unions understood that in spite of a court judgment in their favor, it might have taken more than 10 years to enjoy the fruits of the victory. Because remember, the government could have appealed to the Court of Appeal. The government could have appealed to the Privy Council. And at the end of the day, there still remains the issue of forcing the government to pay. If you recall, in the Gary case versus the Attorney General, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Boson, had to go on the stand to be cross-examined about the means of the government to pay the estate of Eric Gary. The unions agreed to negotiate over a long period of time because they understood that the fruits of the victory that they were seeking could have been stalled for 20 years or more. The issue with the union came to a deadlock at the time when the union was seeking security regarding the accuracy of the government's finances. As AG, I had discussions with the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank to provide supervision of the government accounts in order to give the unions information. All of that fell apart towards the latter part of 2017, and then the court matter came. So I just want to tell the public, you're not dealing with a group of unions that are irresponsible. As a matter of fact, on behalf of the unions, Mr. Bristol Casey and myself, together with Mr. Ruggles Ferguson, prosecuted the matter with respect to the union, with respect to the pension payments. Mm-hmm. At the end, when we were victorious, we engaged the government regarding discussing. And what the minister is saying, what the Mrs. Spear is saying is accurate. There was an ongoing discussion. There was dialogue with the World Bank, IMF, and we came back with the same issue. Was verification of the quantities and the accounts of the government. So that's where it was. Then elections came. So the posture of the NNP government at the time, give the NNP government credit, was that we are not going to appeal the judgment. Let us find a way to pay the pension. That is a fact. Now, I had conversation with Mr. Bristol Casey last night. He has written a letter to the Attorney General saying that this bill, which they passed today, is unconstitutional, and I agree with him. We are back to square one. As Mrs. Pierce says, we are back to a Pension Disqualification Act. Because in effect, what this act is saying is this: if you come into the service after this act is passed, you have no right to a pension under the Constitution. And that is the bottom line. The issue now is whether or not the bill that was passed at the lower house today will be passed in the Senate. It's not an act yet. let me correct Mrs. Pierre. It's still a bill. We still have to go to the Senate. And then the Governor General has to assent. So we still have another stage or 2 stages to go. But the question is this, and if I would urge the government to read very carefully, read the last judgment. The question is whether the bill that is submitted and was passed in the lower house today is effective to replace the government pension that's guaranteed under the Constitution in Section 92. That is the issue. I repeat, what was passed today has made no reference to the 1958 pension. The court ruling is that right now, the 1958 pension still subsists. So the issue is whether or not the bill that was passed today meets the constitutional test, whether it can replace the 1958 Act. And recall, that bill makes no reference to the 1958 Act, which is the act that is in place. The bill did not try to revoke the 58 Act at all, you know. The bill seeks to revoke Section 47 of the NIS Act. So that is the question that needs to be answered. Mr. Bristol's view, and I share his view, I repeat, is that this bill contravenes the provisions of the Constitution of Grenada as it is now. And it is going to be put to the court again, as Mrs. Pierce said. Buckle up. We'll be going back to court, I believe, because the unions are now consulting with the lawyers, and I suspect the government will have to answer a case. So it's just a first round. It is just the first round. But the underscoring point is this. Not what Tom, Dick, and Harry is saying. The question is whether the bill that was passed in the lower house today can displace the right of a public officer to a pension under Section 92 of the Constitution.
So in effect, what we've had passed today is another Pension Disqualification Act.
It is a Pension Disqualification Act because it purports to say that after this bill is passed, you're only entitled to a pension if you pay money into a fund. The Constitution says if you work in any of the established positions in the public service, you're entitled to a pension that is set out in the laws. So the only way that bill can really be effective is if that bill replaces the 1958 pension scheme. And the bill doesn't purport to do that at all.
Also, is the bill, let me ask this question, is the bill removing a benefit that a constitutionally approved benefit that workers have? So the new bill is removing a benefit that they have?
The new, my view is that what the bill tries to do is to prevent public officers, once they enter the public service and are appointed to these established positions, from getting a pension set out under Section 92 of the Constitution and the 1958 Pension Act. That's what this bill is trying to do. So the bill is actually sneakily, it's not, they don't call it a Pension Disqualification Act. But in effect, if it's mooing and making all kind of noise as a donkey, it's a donkey. That's the reality. They don't call it Pension Disqualification Act, but the effect of the bill is to say to public officers, once the bill is passed and you enter the public service in those established positions, don't expect any pension according to the Constitution and according to the 1958 Act. This bill does, I repeat, does not address the 1958 Act at all. The 1958 Act, according to the latest court judgment, is still in force today. So I do not understand, I do not understand what they are, I think what they are trying to say is that the 1958 Act comes to an end. By what means, I do not know. It's not revoked. So these are things that will have to be determined by the court. Right? The other point, though, is this. The new pension puts a requirement on workers to pay into a fund. The old pension never required anybody to pay a cent. So on the face of it is a totally new pension. It's not the same that's contemplated under the Constitution of Grenada. That's my view.
So there are quite a few elements to this that seem to have eluded the present administration, and that may make it to the courts. Well, will make it to the courts. Pretty soon, I expect as well, because I think the enforcement of this, they were seeking to do that in January of 2025. I think is when they were seeking to enforce it.
Well, you see, any government, any parliament can seek and try to do whatever they want. The question is whether or not these ordinary bills meet the constitutional test, because Section 92, which guarantees pension, is a protected section. So if they do not want to go via a referendum, then let us see if it meets the constitutional test. That's the issue. Because remember, from way back since after 1979 thereabouts, when the Constitution was set aside by the PRG, yes? And people were not receiving the pension, the judgment of the court is that all the people from back there have to get a pension, you know, those who didn't get it.
So that's the people who for that 4.5 years there, they stopped receiving pension. The judgment paid those people as well.
The judgment is that all the people who were entitled to a pension, because I believe there was an act in 1985 which would have given people pension up to a cutoff date in February 1985. And that was the perception of the former government. And the court is saying, no, that's not the case.
Well, my brother, I'd like to thank you so very much for giving us a call. As former Attorney General, I know you have this information at the tips of your fingers that you would be able to tell us point by point and in law what the do's and don'ts are and what the correct thing is, contrary to some of the stuff that we heard today in the parliament of our country, which is quite disturbing because folks like you are easily reachable. If they want to confirm something, and I don't know why they don't reach out to you to confirm these things before going and placing those things in the Hansard in the parliament.
Well, Sheldon, they did not consult with Jimmy Bristol Casey, and he was an Attorney General too. So I don't feel left out. The Prime Minister and his group can seek their counsel from wherever. If they believe that the Attorney General is giving them the proper advice, they're free to do that. You know, I don't feel bad about it. I just decided to call in because people are listening and to reassure public officers that the government cannot, by a stroke of a pen, so to speak, remove their pension. They can say whatever they want.
Oh, goodness.
But the issue is whether or not by the stroke of the pen you fall in line with the supreme law of Grenada, which is the Constitution of Grenada. And I repeat, Section 92 is an entrenched provision. It is an entrenched provision. Many governments have tried, many Grenada governments have tried to walk around Section 92. They've tried all kinds of ways. And last year, the court says no. It doesn't. Not in 22, the court said no. You can't walk around it. So now the smart government now is trying to walk around it again. Let's see how successful they are.
My brother, former Attorney General Hood, I thank you so very much. Do enjoy the rest of your night, sir.
Okay, good night, Sheldon.
And feel free, the lines are open. All right. Thank you so very much. All right. Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah. And that was former Attorney General Carrington Hood there giving some clarity in relation to this issue as well. And you did hear from him as well that the government better buckle up, because once they go forward with this, it is going to court. Yeah. More than likely, it is going to court. And I think we'll take one more call before we end for tonight. And, well, not for the year, but, Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Scott. How are you doing, sir?
I'm quite fine.
Season greeting.
Same to you.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for keeping us informed. A special salute to Miss Pierre, our future Lady PM, First Lady PM, should I say. I just want to say that, brother, keep it up. Keep blazing the fire. Right now, I'm at Godwin Phillips' shop, and you have them in derision.
Godwin!
They're all scattering. And bro, just keep blazing the fire. And one more punch. You're better than Kem Jones and Right Along by far, by a landslide. Keep it up, keep it up. Compliments to all, Team Emma.
All right. Thank you so very much, my brother. You have a wonderful night. All right. Thank you. And I wonder if I probably have enough time to take one or two more calls. So you've got clarity there on this issue, because a lot was said in Parliament by the government side today that is not true. And they have two former attorney generals that, if they call them, will answer and speak to them and offer clarity in relation to this issue of pensions, because they're saying a lot of things that is not correct. So you've heard the Honorable Emlyn Pear, and now you've heard former Attorney General Carrington Hood on this issue, clearly defining what the issues are and what the concerns are in relation to this issue. It's not that people don't want people to get a pension and those kind of simplistic thinking, but clearly stating what the issues are that surround the pension issue. We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Yes, Brother Sheldon, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Pass.
You know what? This gentleman had his pen in his mouth and his paper on his desk, waiting for the opportunity. Listen, I don't understand. I listened to Honorable Emlyn Pear, our political leader, and she was so outstanding in that explanation. I mean, I've been listening, and my wife and myself was going back and forth with what she was saying. Only to hear our former AG call. These people is a shame, this kind of kangaroo and jaguar decision and this kind of laws that these people want to pass on us, Yes, it's lawful, but you see, they have never consulted the Grenadian people. People like Kaji and Mr. Bristol and Brother Ruggles Ferguson, even the Honorable Peter David. These persons, they could have called them and have a sit down with them. Even the union leaders and the lawyers, before they go in the law house and to pass and run down this law, on us. Mm-hmm. They need to think again. Thank you, sir. I'm really happy that you're there listening and you could come in at this timely time. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you so very much, Pass. Yes, indeed. And I may be able to take one more. I think, let me see the time. Yes, I should be able to take one more call. And this will be our final caller for tonight. Hello, good night.
Salute, brother. Salute, brother. How you doing?
Fadu asking for you last night, man. I find I wasn't seeing you.
I did like 4 days, three days up straight, working, fam. Yeah, pushing it, but in the midnight all and all that.
This time,
I think the Honorable Emlyn Pear was very articulate. Most of the stuff I think I had questions on, she answered. Mr. Hood actually did a very impressive job also. So brilliant show, fam. I know this is the last show, so I wanted to get in on that. So question, in a situation, let's say for instance, you have an individual that's works seasonally. So most of the seasonal rush for celebrations that we have here, that's around the period that individual works, accumulates his money and invests in like maybe small things to keep generating funds through the year, because it's not a constant thing based on the job setup. How does that work into the system that's been being pushed right now in terms of the pension and all of that.
They said they're doing that for the public sector workers, but the Prime Minister did mention that they're encouraging the private sector to do the same thing as well. In your case, like for instance, as a sole operator, you're a person that operates your own business on your own and so on. I think you would still fall under the NIS. I'll have to clarify what is taking place when it comes to the NIS now. But you would fall under the NIS. I am not sure how that operates. You'd be making your own payments and so to the NIS. Not you wouldn't fall in context of what we are speaking about here with the government pensions. You're outside of that. And in fact, when you ask that question, it reminds me that during the election campaign, I think there were literally thousands of people outside here, brother, who thought when the government was speaking about pensions that they were speaking about them. But these are individuals that never worked with the government of Grenada, were never confirmed in a position, and never made the period of time, because I can remember a town hall meeting right after the election where there was this lady that said, listen, I've been working for how many years on Granans Beach and I'm so glad I'll be getting my pension now. But this wasn't a person employed by the government of Grenada.
So she's not even valid.
Yeah, she's not even valid for it. Yeah, so that is a problem that a lot of folks had during the election campaign. They said, well, I vote for my pension, I vote for my pension, not understanding that the pension discussion is a discussion that engages people who are working within the government system. Yeah, so people like yourself who are sole trader, you do your own business, you do your, I mean, I could boast you as one of the best, not just in Grenada, the Caribbean, if not the best.
Appreciate
that you're doing your own thing. And if you're making your NIS payments, as you should make your little NIS payments or whatever you make, you know, you play a little something every month into NIS. What will eventually happen is that when you get to that age, you would be able to access some pension from the National Insurance Scheme. Either you get your one-off payment or you get your payments every month out of that, what you've paid into them. Yeah?
Okay. One last thing before we run off. So the proposed account or what is it, fund that people are expected to pay into. Who is the beneficiary of that? The government of Grenada? Would it be used as to facilitate security for loans, or would it be used for investments and stuff by the government? Do you know? Do you have that information?
I don't have that, but that's a very interesting question. That's a very, very, very interesting question. Yeah, if people, you're putting money into it, and if you would be able to go to them then and say that I need a loan, the way you could do to NIS now, that you could go to NIS, you're looking to buy a piece of land, you're looking to buy a vehicle, whatever, you could go to the NIS. You're asking now if the pension plan that they're putting in place, if you will be able to do the same thing. Let's say you've already had 20-something thousand or 30-something thousand inside there, but you need a 10,000 for emergency. Will you be able to go and get a loan from them in relation to that? And that I do not have an answer to. But come January, we'll be having some more discussions on this issue. We ain't done with pension by a long shot.
The seats in the parliament thing. Who are those extra seats for?
The extra seats? You mean like up on the top?
Like up, yeah.
No, that's just for people who visit the parliament from time to time. People visit the parliament. So you have enough seats for, like for instance, when budget presentation, those are usually filled because you have school children, you have constituents from different constituencies coming to hear the MPs speak. So you have enough seats to be able to accommodate all the as they call them under parliamentary language, the strangers to the house. Yeah? That would come and listen to the different people. But you have to have enough for them, yeah.
So the parliament represents the people, but I'm seeing no representation of the people. I can see the parties and they speak on behalf of the people.
But the people select the parties. So the people select the parties to go there. But my friend, I passed my time.
I know you have to run.
Yeah.
Safe travels. Enjoy the festive season, mate.
Same to you, brother. And we'll see.
Yes. I with the money green tree.
Yeah, man. Thank you. That's my good friend. Yeah, that's my good friend Fadu. Yeah, and another thing you have to remember, there are even people, when it comes to this pension thing, there are even people who are unestablished public workers. Yeah, so that you have to deal with that category of people outside of the established, the contract. You have people who working in the public service, but are in unestablished positions. That's their designation. You have to deal with them. So this pension discussion is not a simple thing. There's a lot more that has to go into it. The government is giving people a simplistic view of a very, very important and wide-ranging issue, and they're trying to pigeonhole the entire discussion into, we say we go do it and we doing it, and all you never do it, and why all you didn't do it. And that is a nonsensical, quite frankly, it's a dunce way to have that discussion. Folks, that is all the time we have on Talking Points for tonight, and basically for this year. We thank the Almighty for bringing us through safely, night after night, to be here with you. We could not have done it without the strength of the Almighty. There were nights I really at home and I really I can't make it. And I put my mind to it and I came in. And by the end of the program, I was so energized that when I reach home, I can't sleep for 2 or 3 hours, even though I was feeling so sick before coming into the studio. So I'd just like to thank each and every one of you who have contributed in whichever ways. The people who sometimes, yes, Cathy, the people who sometimes come and they say, well, okay, bring JJ by me. JJ going to stay by me tonight while I come out to do the program and so on. All the people who have helped in whichever way that they have helped, yeah, us for this program for 2024, and we look forward to 2025. All of you who have given information, all of you who have donated and helped us when we needed equipment and so, who have helped us, yeah, and those of you that even meet me in the street and sometimes just say, you're doing a good job, keep it up. We're listening, we deal with you. Each and every one of you that have contributed in whichever way, we want to thank you and look forward to working along with you all in 2025. As I said, next week we're doing a program, but it's just going to be greetings, straight greetings right through. I'm not even sure if we're going to do 2 hours. We might do like an hour and a half on Monday night. All right, folks? So, again, that is all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. In everything you say, everything you do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Remember to be safe on the nation's road, seeing some accidents taking place there, seeing some stuff on the nation's road. Don't drink and drive. Yeah? Take your time and get there alive. Folks, that is it. I am out.
Santa, all the money done. Somebody say Santa in a plane. Somebody say Santa went away. Somebody say Santa in helicopter. Touch all over, meet him in fishing trawler. Santa don't read no budget for the Christmas. Santa don't read the budget for the Christmas. Santa don't read no budget for the Christmas. Santa don't read the budget for the Christmas. Oh yo yo, ay ay ay. Oh yo yo, ay ay ay. Oh yo yo, ay ay ay. Somebody say, like Santa vex. Somebody say, Santa full of stress. Somebody say, Santa make a mess. Santa was at his best. Santa don't read no budget for the Christmas. Santa don't read the budget for the Christmas. Santa don't read no budget for the Christmas.